Hello everyone, my name is Chris, or KRX, whatever you choose, I don't really mind. And today I thought I would do a world tour. So I thought it'd be really interesting because I actually have a log of everything I've done and the days I've done them about. So I'll just do it chronologically. I'll show off everything I've built. This is a multiplayer server on the current version, 1.20. And, well, as of the making of this video, of course. So yeah, we'll just go right into it. So the first thing I built, well, here. I started this on October 5th. And the first building I built was my house here, which doubles as a real estate agency. So it's pretty small. This is like the storefront area. And I had the idea to basically just be a real estate agent, right? Because I like to build. So I built pretty much everything here. And I thought, okay, well, let's make it. I'm like a real estate agent. I own all this land. I'm selling it off. I'm selling these houses. You know, just make it a little more interesting. I'm not just some random person building houses in a random world. Up on top, I have my house. So, the armor stand, my bed, you know, all my stuff, some storage here, a little closet, jukebox, music discs. Up here is a little more storage. And it's pretty simple, but I like it. I like having a kind of small house. I don't like having something super huge and oversized. You know? I feel like I have to get more creative if I have something smaller. And I'll actually go over here to get a better look at it. So you can see it's just I went for this interesting roof where it's two parts and they're both rounded. Because I don't know, I don't want to build the same thing over and over again. Which, you know, I guess I kind of do sometimes. So I built a library, which was actually right here. This used to be the library, and it was this section of the building. After I built the library, I built the flower shop. And there isn't a lot going on here yet. Eventually we'll do more decorations, make it look a little nicer. But I think it's very nice right now. Up here, we have my girlfriend's house. Also a little empty, but we're adding on to it. And after that, I moved the library. So this part of the building used to be a library. It was very small and I couldn't get it to look right. It had a very weird looking, I guess, roof. Well, there wasn't really a roof. It was just kind of a big block. And I didn't like it. So I thought I'd build something a little more unique. So I built this library. If we come in here, this is where I keep this home log right here. This is a book that has all the, I guess, landmarks, interesting landmarks within the world. So bed here for Villager. And these are all books, but the new bookshelves that were added recently in this update, I think. So some of these are just enchanted books. Some of these are like actual books that people have written. And up here are some bookshelves. banners, and up here is the enchantment room. So I like to build cities, and in my cities I like to have different buildings for different purposes. I don't like having everything in one place because it kind of, I don't know, I get more meaning out of my builds if I have just different areas that I have to keep going to. So, you know, my house is here, enchantment is in here, etc. After I built the new library, this building was vacant. And it looked a little different, obviously. It wasn't just this. It was like a one-story with like spruce, wood. It was pretty boring, I think. So I thought, why not expand it and create an inn? You know, weird travelers coming along and need a place to stay. So it has 8 rooms. They're all identical. Well, I think it's a mirror, but they're all basically the same. 1, 3 floors. Well, it's a little balcony here. It's not much, but you know, it's nice. It's cozy. All the way up here, the second balcony. And you get a view of a lot of the stuff around here. You can actually jump up on the roof here. You can see it's pretty big. You can probably tell by the map, which I'll actually showcase afterwards, I think. So that's the inn. It's probably the biggest building by area in the city, which is not a surprise given it's meant to house multiple people at different times. So right here, this one's a little funny actually, because he had built a house on the river, and I asked him like, oh yeah, do you want me to move it a little bit closer? You want me to add on to it? And he said yeah, and I kind of took that and ran with it. So I kind of just tore the whole thing down and built something new. And I don't think he expected me to do that, because he got back on. He's like, "Where's my house?" I felt a little bad about that because I didn't realize. You know, I thought that it was fine because I thought he'd agreed to it, but maybe there were multiple conversations going on at once. But I think this is a little bigger than his old house, so maybe it's not so bad. And also on the same day, I built this bridge. So I just wanted a way to get across the river, something nice, like a little landmark for the village. It's almost all cherrywood, I believe. Cherrywood is new in this update, so there's a lot of it just around. And something really interesting, one of the biggest landmarks actually, on the server, is the railroad. So my friend Mankey started this. Well, it's probably better if I look at the map. So he has a city over here, and originally he was building the road going up this way, and I think it was just going to go and connect to my city over here. And I thought, well, there's stuff happening over here. We were mining for terracotta over here and everything else. So we said, okay, we're going to build a road all over here. You know, we have a road connecting it, and you know, that's it, that's the road. So it was just a little line originally, but over time we've just continued to expand it. So rather than just going to the middle of the desert and then walking from there to here, I ended up building a train station and continuing it on to another city. But we'll get to that later. This here is the saloon. Probably looks a lot better in the daytime. There's some stables for horses or camels or any type of mount. And it's just like a little Wild West saloon. The bar over here. Yeah. Pretty normal stuff. A round table here for poker or blackjack. Of course, you can't really play that in Minecraft, but that's the saloon complex. So this used to be called Quarry Point, because this is where we were mining all this terracotta. And I built this castle as like a train station. I wanted to make it look more ancient, I guess. As if this had been here long before everything else in the world. Obviously, in reality, it wasn't the first thing that was built, but I don't know, I like the view. It has a few balconies, pretty interesting construction, in my opinion. Just different levels, it gets smaller as you go up. You can see the saloon from here. You can see, well, the tunnel that the road goes in. Let's see. From over here, you get a good view of the desert. Desert temple over there, which I don't think I've ever noticed that before. And it's pretty safe from the monsters, they don't spawn inside. There's a couple of beds for travelers. And down here is an area for storage. And did I mine down here? It looks like there's a mine here too. So it has everything. You could reasonably stay here. That was my idea for these stations. Is if they're not close to certain amenities like my bed, just have them in the station itself. It's kind of an outpost of sorts. So after this station, I built the station in my city. Which you can take the train conveniently all the way there. Okay, here we are. I'm not sure if there's space in here. Awesome. So this is the train station. We have a little attic here. A lot of it is empty, but that's because everything that would be needed is, within the city. We have the inn for beds, we have a mine, everything's accounted for. So right next to the train station, because this was at the edge of the village at the time, I thought, well, we need to fill in some of this area. So I built this apartment complex called the Old Spawn Apartments. And it's called that because the spawn point of the world used to be right here. In fact, it would have been right here. I built the village a little too close to the spawn. And I eventually just moved it, which I'll actually showcase later on, where I showcase everything outside the city. So I think it's 4 units, all the same size. varying windows and door placements. But, I didn't realize this window was looking at nothing. What a wonderful view. But it's pretty simple. No one lives here yet because there's only like 4 people on the server, 5. And everyone kind of has their own space. This is the holiday plaza. So my idea was to have like a center point of the city, either like a market or a plaza, just anything, right? And I thought, well, why don't I make something that's, I can change over time to fit the season. I was preparing for Christmas and that I never added the ornaments, but I did build this tree. That's why it's called Holiday Plaza. Each holiday I'm going to add on to this. Because for Halloween, I had built, I decorated everything in the village up to that point. So, pumpkins and cobwebs, and it was a lot. It was a little too much. So from now on, I'm just going to contain it here, and maybe put markets and stuff whenever there's no holidays. But at the moment, it's just going to stay the Christmas tree because, it's a nice little center point. The next 2 buildings that I worked on were the Bridge Avenue Ore Laundry. Each road has a name, of course. And the Grandstone Storage Solutions. So we'll start with the Storage Solutions first. So my idea was that this functions essentially like a community chest, where all this storage of excess materials just goes, and everyone can come along and use it for anything they want. And the idea is that everyone can put into it, everyone can take out of it, everyone's happy. So if I mine a little too much wood, and someone needs wood, they can just come in and take it. No problems there. And of course, I had the idea that you could put your name on a chest, and that could be your chest. No one can take it from there. That way you don't just have everything for everyone, like a free-for-all. You can still have your own stuff if you don't want to put it in your house or anywhere else. Now, that's 2 stories. The upper story isn't being used yet because there's not a lot to store so far. Over here is the ore laundry. And that sounds like a weird name, I know. But essentially it's a community smelting area. I built it kind of like a laundromat, where you have like all these, say washing machines that are just, usually you'd have to pay to use them. Here, I guess the payment would be cool. But, it makes it a little bit more, efficient. Instead of having like one blast furnace, one furnace with smoker in your house, you can come over here where there's one of everything. Well, multiple of everything. And I kind of forget this exists sometimes, so I'll still use stuff in my house, but if I'm nearby, it's a lot more useful if I need to spell a lot of things at once. So these 2 buildings look very similar. They have similar designs, okay. Just different block palettes. It's because they were built around the same time. Next, we have the Builders Guild. And this isn't finished yet, actually. It's actually very rudimentary right now. And yeah, it's a very work in progress. But essentially my idea was to have multiple guilds that operate within the city. So builders, miners, hunters, adventurers, essentially like clubhouses that people can go to if they're more inclined to do one, I guess, activity within Minecraft than another. And maybe there'll be like quests or something. I'm not really sure yet. So I've always liked castles. I think they're really cool. Knights, medieval stuff. And I thought, well, why don't I just build it in Minecraft, you know? And I built the castle. Well, I started building the castle. And I thought, well, wouldn't it be cool if the castle connected to a wall that surrounded the village? That way it's safe from any threats. So I just did that. The castle's not done yet. This is gonna be built up. It's gonna be pretty tall. But it'll be a nice fort. And the wall is gonna be the same height all the way around. It's gonna be pretty big. So your watchtowers all along it. So if I go all the way down here, all the way along the wall. This is where I have all my materials, which is not much. So there's gonna be some watchtowers just along the wall. That way, you know, you can see intruders from wherever, basically. And it's just gonna span all the way around the city. So the first building that isn't in the book is the community center. And this was built probably right after the flower shop, actually. It's one of the earlier builds. And it houses another portal, all my product ideas, so you can actually see. And these are the decorations from the Halloween event. Right here is a little garden that my girlfriend is working on. It's a nice fountain, skeleton horse, and eventually it's going to be up here, all the way over there. So it'll be like an interesting two-tiered garden design. All these sheep were used by me because I really needed the wool. And right here is a unnamed building. I built it and I'm waiting for someone to use it for something. So I guess it's kind of just filler. I think the shape is interesting. I didn't want to leave like empty spaces around anywhere really. So eventually I had to fill up all these awkward looking areas like this right here, around the roundabout here, here, here. So maybe I'll do identical buildings on each corner, or maybe I'll do something different. I'm not really sure. But it will be interesting. It's 5 stories, and they're all pretty small. I guess it could be office building or, you know, anything anyone wants. It's a blank slate. Over here is my friend Mankey's house in the city. Of course, he doesn't live here, he lives all over here. So it's pretty small. He had built like a little hut out of random blocks. It was like a garbage hut. And it was really funny. And I thought, well, I don't want my city filled with garbage. I want it to look nice. So I replaced it with this little house, and he never came back. So that was cool. So storefront, not much else there. So why don't we take a trip. So actually, my plan was to just go to places I wanted to show off, but I thought this would be nicer. Just showcasing everything. I have my wheat fields all along this river. I just thought it would look nicer than just plain old grass and sand. So it's just covered in wheat. I don't think I've given the river a name yet, but eventually I will. So this is the new Wheatstead Farming Incorporated. And it's essentially a glorified villager breeder. If I add more beds, more villagers are going to be created here. And there's already a lot. So it's called New Wheatstead because in my old world I had an area very similar, just called Wheatstead. And I had made this same thing in concept, like a villager breeder on accident. And I realized, well, it's a nicer way than making a big thing where they're just bred constantly and it's like they're cattle. I don't like that. I don't like trading halls, things like that. I don't think it's really the spirit of the game. I view villagers as, well, not people, but, they're not tools, they're beings within my world. They're like citizens. So, it's just their little house. And I'm going to build more of these along the river, I think. Just populate it a little more. Whenever I need villagers, I just take them from here and bring them wherever. It all starts here. Up here, you've probably already seen it, but there's an observatory. I built it for a friend of mine, but he does not play, so it just kind of sits here collecting dust. It's not really being used or improved. And it's a little out of the way, so I don't really come here very often. But I think it did a good job on it. So it's pretty standard on the inside. Here we have the lens of the telescope. And this is the hardest part. And I'm still not super satisfied with it. But I think it's a good enough job. I'm not unhappy with it. And there's space for this to be expanded downwards. So in theory, you could just build this all the way down to bedrock. I'm not going to do that, unless I get really bored. There's a little village over there. I actually got some of the villagers for the breeder from there. But yeah, you can see the angle's a little weird. I probably could have done a little better. But I don't know, I'm still proud of it. Not every build is going to be perfect. So over here is spawn. And I tried to make it a little atmospheric. A little mysterious. So I made some ruins in this spot. And I thought, well, this is a pretty interesting starting point for anyone joining, You just spawn here and you don't really have an idea of what to expect. So I made these pillars, remnants of walls, some other secondary structures out here. There's a lot of foliage. And I'm pretty happy with it. I think it's a good starting point. So anyways, it looks like that's everything. I know this is probably a pretty boring video, but I don't know. I kind of liked just showing off everything I've done so far. I wish I'd done that on my older worlds, but you know, this is a good start. Let me know if you want to see more Minecraft content. I plan on making it regardless, but yeah. I just really wanted to showcase it. All of it be seen. But yeah, thanks for watching, and we'll see you guys later.